We're going to be looking into the energy based on the person and the situation, or the situation on your mind. This is going to be a little bit different than usual. I hope that you have all been fine and that you have been able to successfully transverse through the retrogrades. Let's begin. This is the Arcana Veil. We have the bear. We have star. We have child. We have pinnacle. We have Gemini. This does not mean that it may need to be a star sign or anything like that. It really is relative to perhaps the month that you're in, or it could be very much related to the experience of the energy itself. At this point in time, we're looking at energy that seems to be traveling through a process where there's a need to refine itself. There's a desire to be understood and recognized for the strength that an individual carries. It could be you, it could be that person that you're thinking of, could be the situation that you're in. And though for some of you that I'm picking up on, it does look like it's small beginnings, and for others those are wishes that you wish to experience or encounter. But in either case, the energy shows that it's presenting itself in a position where there's a lot of recognition that needs to take place, whether it's from the internal or the external. For some of you, I'm picking up that there is a need to redefine, repurpose the pathway that you're on because of the nature in which it has been for you. For others of you, I'm picking up on asserting the self into a position that is based on dominance. This does not mean it's you, but it may be a situation that is dominating your mind, your thoughts every day, and that there needs to be a change in that. I'm not referring to it as a conflict or anything of that sort, because there is a lot more lighter air coming in the mind. Air is obviously mindful thoughts and things, a lot less overthinking. I'm also seeing for some of you that there is a nurturing of wanting to be humble in a particular way, to be able to understand the purpose of that as part of your resolution. Perhaps you have set it up as a resolution to want to be more humble, because in your mind you may believe that your ego needs to be healed, and that humility or humbleness may be aligned with itself. However, this could be also related to just the situation and the circumstances that you've had to deal with. I'm going to see what the tarot can bring for us on this. There's a Knight of Coins here, or Pentacles. The Nine of Swords. A lot of mental focus. We have Fly Spirit. here. A lot of erratic movements. 7 of Wands. Owl spirit here. Under the deck, initiation. Okay, so I'll put here. There is an exploration that will be one that will be a slow process, a slow pathway to overcome that which has been causing the arresting of the strength of the energy itself, that which has felt like it was in the inner child perspective, a condition that had to be healed based on the erraticness of life's up and downs, is what I'm hearing, and what had caused a lot of mental conflict over time. And with that, it had been sent into a position that one's individual self would need to accommodate the wounds in order to move forward. Sometimes these things happen where we are arrested by the belief systems, our movements are restricted, and we have to repurpose ourselves into another way, so that we are not the sum of those events, of those experiences. Some of you have moved away from your families because of the circumstances that seem to have been very much not viable for you. The situation on your mind or on your heart is one that is based on the association of what you had to encounter through your trials, things that seem to be only temporary in nature right now. And what was immediately noticeable was the fact that it had to be something based on the inner workings that you've had to deal with. What is deeper here on the Eight of Cups, coins, sorry, working on the nature, trying to put something together, taking time to put it together, working on it all the time, and investing in certain applications that will bring some sort of healing to a point. For some of you, there is a desire to earn more money. That is point blank the direction in which one would want to move towards. For others of you, there is the question of how to make more money without losing my soul, without losing my sanity. And that in itself is the establishment of having to deliver and reveal and clear up a lot of things that have been very conflicting over time. So in other words, some of you are feeling the competition. For some of you, I'm picking up that there is competitive environment that you seem to be in, and that you are desiring to actually have more financial income, have more draw to you, so that you can earn more money. For others of you, there is the desire to seek out deeper wisdom so that one can actually attain the ability to know how to accommodate the true self, the true mental passage. And all of this, as we can see, is all part of the passage of initiation of the spirit, of the mind within itself, to try and accommodate the soul's impact, to be reformed by the spirit that is eternal within the self. And when I say spirit, I'm referring to that energy, that force, that fire that is within you, that is not your soul, but retracts the soul into the self, into the spirit once the person passes away. It's something to be mindful of, that you are not just a soul, you have a spirit as well. And I can tell you that I've seen it, so why else is there such a confusion? I think people seem to be confused with the idea of Lucifer and Satan and spirit or soul. It's two very different things. Things are very much not the same. They are individual elements. I just had to use that example. We have the Five of Swords here under the Knight of Coins. A desire to remark, to rebuild, to build some sort of ideological idea of essence that requires people need to fight for, and people need to seek some sort of clarifying meaning to what's going on in the world, to why it is as temporal as it appears to be. And yet there is a lot of elements and elemental themes that do not seem to add up to it. There is the fear through the whole artificial intelligence thing as well. And yet that thing is basically devouring itself. It cannot achieve what they have thought it should have to do. This is just for some of you to know. And we have transformation on the mental to the spiritual, from the emotions to that which is what one feels, what one experiences, what one encounters. There is movement in the nature of the transformation of that which needs to be hidden, that which comes through as what was hidden is coming through into the light, into being seen again, into be understood, that in a sense there is the progression of what one could secretly desire to reform based on the experience with others. Nightmares obviously are archetypical of the endurance of the experience of that which feels that there's a lot of misunderstanding in certain things and certain realities. And when I say realities, I'm talking about the relationship you may have with a certain person, place, or thing is a reality in its own making. The relationship you have with a certain person is one reality, and it's not the same reality as that you would have the reality with an object. And in the nature of that frequency, there's often an overstepping of people's realities, or trying to reclaim certain ideas or beliefs from people that may make them feel they are more, full of bravado, hubris, that they were able to claim that frequency. There's a lot of deeper diving things taking place in the background than what most people are aware of. Persephone there proves my point. The one who has gone to the underworld to connect with Hades. And all of this is the process of initiation, which is based on the spirit resolving itself through and absolving itself from past lives, from experiences, from choices that have made one feel that you had to deal with all of that bullshit from other people, from how you were raised, and how you chose not to become defined by it. This is the journey of that experience, laid out in a very delicate manner so that it can be understood in a much more easier way. What has been revealed here is the Five of Cups, a release of a particular torment that was within the self, not necessarily bound by other people or enforced by other people, but something that was tormenting you as a thought. Sometimes a particular temptation, perhaps even that. However, others may be triggered by your experiences or your behavior. You still move away from that process in a way that serves you, that is healing to you. This is your journey. We have card 11 here. Oh, sorry, 2 of Vessels, where the king is standing in the foundation of his choices that he has made, and what surrounds him is the crown of stars, ideas, thoughts, stars, and knowing that he had to sever himself from the ties that had bound him, from ideas, from feelings, from things, from knowledge, from stuff, to lighten the load, because in there is the measure, blood and water, the opposing forces that are within the nature of the self, the soul, that is desiring to reform itself. This is your phoenix moment. I know I hear people are saying, oh, they haven't phoenixed yet, or you have to go through the phoenix moment. It's actually not that simple. And saying it so flippantly the way that it's done is very misappropriating sacred knowledge. To go through something like a phoenix moment means you have to go through this process where you are literally aligning yourself to a new foundation, a new pathway that you have to create. Nobody else can do that for you. And how do you create something that hasn't already been created by others? Because what the saying here is that there's a lot of people that are trying to copy other people's creations, their realities, so that they can live like them, because they're too lazy to think for themselves, or too ignorant, or too... ignorant's the best word. And so what comes through here is that you are going through a process where you are literally realigning yourself to what there was that held you back even as a child. You may have had a lot of encounters with people of the dead, or you may have had a lot of encounters with people that were very warlike in your life, and that has shaped your life path. Some of you, not all of you of course, may have had encounters with this particular experience at a much later stage in your life. But you are here for this pathway to reinitiate yourself into the Phoenix moment. Here are the stages and how it will play out. You're not going to go into a room and snap your finger and poof, you come out and you're a Phoenix. There's more obsessive, glorious focus on the ideology and the meaning of the word Phoenix rather than actually looking at the entire process of how you got there. You die off literally a lot of things in your life. He cuts off all the fixtures that used to be attached to his life. He cuts it off because they have served their purpose. And all of those fixtures that have been left behind will return back into the earth, recede back into the water, reabsorbed back into the air. And you will come to choices, needing to make them, weighing them up, deciding what they will mean for you. I know that most of the information here will probably go over most people's heads, but this does not mean it is negating or neglecting what is coming through here. The passage of your initiation is being laid out for you. And you are on this process deciding where you will weigh up what serves, what does not serve. You have matured. You have become older. When you were younger, you had gone through something similar to this. Sometimes what you say and what you do sometimes goes over everybody's heads too. It seems to show here. Hooded, unable to understand, unable to process what you mean. Hooded deliberately like that. He seems to have the rooster right there by his feet. And it has killed something that had perhaps not matured. So what I'm saying is you need to look at this in an alchemical way. Symbol of the spiritual journey is presented here in this manner of reading. What brings you the conflict in your mind is only there because of an unresolved belief in another outcome than what it should have been. That is part of that. It's not where you live either. It's where you are. 10 of Wands. Steadfast work. I can see only work here, but I can see powerful moves for some of you, taking this pathway quite deeply forward. Powerful moves in deciding who you wish to be. Powerful moves in what you wish to encounter in your pathway going forward by dying off that which has been taking so much energy of your life, so much focus that you may have forgotten. And for others of you, rebuilding a family with bloodlines that are not yours is the next pathway to go towards. And for others of you, doing extremely well financially, and here are the processes of how you will get there. And for others of you who desire the deepest wisdom of spiritual knowledge, of wisdom, the higher you climb, the more you have to cut off from yourself. But that seems to fall away by itself. It naturally does. There's a lot of things that need to come through for you and will come through for you. You will find yourself in this process where you will encounter a great deal of wisdom. And in that sense, to finalize the meaning of this reading for you, we will draw one of these cards, one of these oracles. Aquarius. Individuality. The Aquarian mind that desires to become individual from itself so that it can also be recognized by itself, by his, herself, so that you are able to accommodate your passage going forward. We will leave this reading. I will leave this with you. I hope this has found you well, and may this be a blessing for you on your pathway going forward. This was the Arcana Veil. Until next time.